Strive Coaching Studio, guiding business leaders to meet the highest version of themselves. And now, here's Michelle, certified coach and founder of Strive Coaching Studio.
All right, everybody. This topic is a really important one for me today to talk about. You may relate to this. I'm going to paint this picture for you and see if it sounds familiar for you. I've noticed a lot of people want to be more confident in certain situations or manage yourselves more confidently in challenges or difficult confrontational meetings or conversations that you have. Or maybe you just want to push yourself in ways that you haven't in the past, and you know that being more confident in pursuing them will allow you to be more successful in them to create the results that you want. So the point being, we know that we already walk into it knowing that in order to push ourselves and be our best, that having more confidence will allow us to create better results for ourselves and improved outcomes for the situation. So we make a decision that we will find confidence and build and develop confidence to accomplish this. And we feel great about this choice for a minute. Then what happens, the next thing that commonly occurs for so many of us is that our brains kick in to let us know not to be too confident because we don't want to come off as arrogant. We don't want to seem arrogant. We don't want others to perceive us as being the know-it-alls. And somehow, as soon as we wrap our head around the idea of growing or of doing something new or different, maybe even scary or unusual or outside of the box, or definitely outside of our comfort zone, the fear kicks in just a little bit harder. And our minds tell us not to be too cocky. Don't come off as arrogant. Somehow we tell ourselves that arrogance would be seen as intimidating or unlikable, or not belonging or accepted, so we freeze. The minute our brain fears the idea of not being accepted, we slip into that fight, flight, or freeze survival mode to keep us safe again. And in this case, freeze. Freezing from becoming arrogant, freezing from becoming confident, freezing from acting like anything that could be perceived as different than how we've been in the past and therefore not accepted by the group. So we just freeze. We don't move. We don't grow. We don't leave the comfort zone or the familiar. It's scary and risky and just not worth it. That's what our brains do to us. That's its job to do to us. Keeping us safe from risk, from harm, from danger, from anything bad. But that freezing prevents us from growth and from change and pursuing what we most desire, our bigger goals, and doing what we know in our wisest minds are best for ourselves and others. All because our brain convinced us that confidence is somehow bad by relating it to arrogance. Do you see that trick that the brain just played on you? While the intentions are good, thinking it's trying to keep you safe, it plays that trick on us to convince us why you need to feel safe and why you need to just decide not to be confident. So we get to be the wiser judge of this. Let's get some data and facts together that we can sort through to make our own wise decisions about this topic, okay? Starting with defining and seeing the difference between confidence and arrogance. Let's just look at that. We can make our own decisions, but let's just lay it out here. This is what confidence is. It is pursuing a path outside of your comfort zone to grow by being willing to fail and feel all of the emotions that come with it willingly. It is not about believing in your ability to do something you've never done, since you've never done it before. It's about believing in your ability to feel and experience everything that comes with it on the journey, no matter what it is or how bad it feels. Being willing to feel the negative emotions that come so that you can get to the other side of where you want to be. Confidence has absolutely nothing to do with anyone else at all. It is not competitive, other than with yourself. What others do, the journey they've taken, where they've ended up, is not at all of your concern. It's not even on your radar. so you can be happy for them and know that you can be happy for yourself because they have nothing to do with each other. It is 100% about the relationship you have with yourself, trusting yourself to know that you will be okay when it sucks, when you fail, when it's humiliating or embarrassing. Believing in your ability to manage your mind no matter what happens or how it feels. It's about knowing that it's worth that journey and all that comes with it in order to get there. Confidence is your willingness to feel and experience all that comes as you enter uncharted territory. It is that simple. Arrogance is very different. It may even be the polar opposite of confidence. Arrogance is a journey and destination that considers that others suffer in the process. It's at the expense of others. Pushing others down along the way, ensuring that others do not succeed in their journeys, that is arrogance. It is a tricky method of operating under the idea of avoiding feeling or experiencing any negative emotions. But if you really think about it, someone who is arrogant lacks confidence altogether, potentially. They're so fearful of feeling negative emotions from natural and expected journey-related failures that they operate defensively and from a survival mode. A confident person is willing and strong enough to take it all on no matter what to grow. An arrogant person is not. And because they lack confidence, the only way they can see to protect their emotions is to prevent others from getting there. Arrogance is a way of operating in emotional childhood and from a primitive way of thinking. It is not conscious mind management as confidence is considered. It is a subconscious survival operating system that does not typically result in growth, evolution, or the maximum accomplishments that are available to a person. Confidence allows one to grow, build trust in oneself, trust that because you managed your mind through the emotions of one thing, that you'll be able to do it again and again to continue accomplishing and growing more. Arrogance keeps you small, improves repeatedly that because you don't trust yourself to handle anything that comes, you must instead limit others. Because you don't trust in your ability to get there on your own abilities and manage your own mind. The only way is to make sure others don't by keeping the game field smaller. But fewer players and smaller fields means fewer opportunities and smaller growth. Confidence requires you to manage your mind for what it will take to accomplish big things for yourself, to grow in ways that will blow your own mind because you've never done it and you proved that you could. When you take the journey and meet others along the way, you will know that they're on their own journey, running into their own pitfalls and problems and obstacles to get to their destinations too. They are different than yours. And them getting to theirs has nothing to do with whether you will get to yours. You getting to yours doesn't mean you would not want to see others arrive at their goals and to their goals as well. Their progress and growth has no impact or bearing on preventing you from yours and vice versa. So now let's circle back to you. When you tell yourself that you don't want to be confident for fear of coming off as arrogant, what are you really thinking now? Which one do you think you would be? Which one do you think you want to be? If you're afraid that others will not accept you or your style, why would that be? Maybe building your confidence is your work. Building trust in yourself and willingness to feel failure is your opportunity. Maybe others would feel threatened by you if you're approaching situations as if you don't want them to succeed just as much as yourself. This could be your work. Or maybe you want to spend some time deciding how much are you willing to risk to go through the path, the emotions of the process, the finances of a process, possibly the true and real physical risks of the process. Deciding what you're willing to take on as risk emotionally, financially, and physically is valuable work to do as well. And this work is what builds your confidence. When you build trust in yourself to be willing to fail, when you want it for yourself, no matter what, when what others are doing or are not doing are no longer part of the scenario, when you've established a relationship with yourself, when you manage your mind around it all, when you make decisions about all of the risks, that's when you have built confidence. That is when you have everything you need to step outside and begin. That is confidence. You can find it. You can build it. And it keeps getting bigger and greater for you the more you work on it. And without it, the only price you're paying is at the expense of you. So when you build trust with yourself and you really begin to believe in your ability to manage your mind through anything to get where you want to go, that's when you know you have built confidence. I can't wait to see what you are capable of accomplishing with your confident self. Come on over, Strive Coaching Studio, tell us all about it, and let's get to work on all the things that you want to create in your life. That's what we do every single day. I hope I'm going to see you very soon. Thanks so much. Talk to you next time.
Check out our show notes in the podcast section on strivecoachingstudio.com to read these valuable tips. And thank you for listening.